All right, so today we are going to talk about 3 exercises that are well tolerated for people that are in low back pain. So this is some of the motion we want to start introducing. If people can tolerate this, we want to move a little bit. We don't want to be stiff and compensatory and lose some of that mobility pattern. So these 3 exercises we find are pretty well tolerated. So first we're gonna have Ashley start into a hands and knees position, and we're gonna do a basic cat-cow exercise. So we want her shoulders over her wrists, her hips over her knees, and then as she go ahead and she lets her belly hang, and let's pick your head up a little bit when we do that, all right? So this is the cow position where the belly's hanging, and then go ahead and drop your head and push her back up, and this is like a Halloween cat, pushing their back up. Good, and then alternate back and forth between those 2 positions. When we're doing this, only do them in a pain-free motion. You might be limited, you might not have as much mobility and excursion that Ashley has, but she's not in any acute pain right now. But these exercises is where we can get some flexion extension of the spine without putting compressive forces of our weight-bearing position like we would in standing or in sitting. So this is a great first starter. We would do that 10 to 20 times if people are well tolerating that. The next exercise we'd like to go into while we're here is we're just gonna sit right back onto her heels into a child's pose. So we wanna reach those arms out in front of her best that we can. And those arms can be narrow, they can be wide, whatever's comfortable. And in this position, we just wanna put a little traction on her low back so those arms are kind of pulling and releasing some tension. And then as she's breathing, we're really filling up that rib cage. And that's our mobility, is we want those big breath expansions of the rib cage just in this position where she's feeling a little bit of some light pull, some stretching, not irritating pain, but a little bit of a stretch. That might be uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be agitating. When we stay here, figure 5 to 10 breaths in a comfortable position. You might not be able to sit back as far, but do what you can. So this practice is getting arms overhead. It practices putting a little relieving tension to the low back, and we work on our breath work in this position. So that's a child's pose. The last position that we find people tolerate is laying on their side. And when laying on our side, we want our hips and knees about 90 degrees. Right, so bring those knees up a little bit more, good. And then start with your hands together in front of you. And then her bottom hand is gonna stay on the ground. Her top hand is gonna lift up and rotate over. And she's gonna be looking at this thumb as she's moving, because we want her head to come with it, and then rotate it back and back down. And when we're doing this, we're not worried about the hand reaching the ground as much as we're worried about this shoulder coming back to the ground, right? We're trying to get trunk rotation, not so much arm reaching. This again might be a limited motion for you to do, but we're gonna do this on both sides. This is what this looks like, a side lying rotation stretch. It should be relieving and comfortable. We like this better than some of the other rotation stretches that we'll commonly see in other clinics that are just more agitating for the back. This one seems to be a lot more tolerated, so we love this opportunity to work on rotation. And then actually, let's have you switch to the other side just so people can see it from the other angle there. Right, so hips and knees, again, about 90 degrees here. Hands stay together, and then we're watching that top thumb as we're trying to bring that shoulder back down to the ground. And you can see on this side, Ashley's a little tighter with that rotation to her right side. So this would be something that we do want to work on with her. She can practice her breathing patterns, nice and relaxed. Everything should be easy, non-painful, non-agitating, relieving when you're doing it. So those are our 3 exercises that we love for people that are in acute back pain. That helps them to get some motion, not lose any of that pattern that they have, and just start their road to recovery.